Let's go to the next page. First full paragraph. As a result of the gifts you have made in 1999 and this past year, you have incurred a gift tax obligation of approximately $15 million, in addition to your income tax liability, federal, state, and city, of approximately $10 million, of which $10 million has been paid to date. The $10 million paid to date, was that income tax liability or gift tax liability?
I do not recall.
In any event, there was a balance at that point, combined, of $15 million, correct?
Objection.
That's what the letter says.
The balance of these obligations cannot be met out of your current income and require the sale of some of your assets. Did you do anything from March 22, 2001 on to make sure that the $15 million that was still owed, according to this sentence that we just read, was in fact paid?
I do not recall.
The next paragraph says, and of course I'm skipping down what you say in the rest of that paragraph, but the next paragraph starts off as follows. Unfortunately, I believe that you have failed to understand the consequences of this continued course of action, both to yourself and to the objects of your generosity. Do you see that?
Yes.
Up till this point in time, had you had conversations with her with regard to the consequences of her conduct?
Objection.
I had many conversations with Mr. Clark on many subjects. I cannot tell you specifically whether or not this was discussed.
But you were certainly concerned at this point in time that she apparently failed to understand the consequences of what she was doing, correct?
I indicated in my letter to her what my feelings were. With Mrs. Clark, you had to tread very carefully because she was a very strong-willed woman who did what she wanted, who knew what she was doing from her point of view, and she did what she wanted.
Sort of like a spoiled child, correct?
Objection.
I wouldn't characterize her as a spoiled child, as a strong-willed woman who did what she wanted to do.
And failed to understand the consequences of what she was doing.
I don't know if she failed to.
Well, that's what you opined here, correct?
I don't know if, in fact, she did fail to understand the consequences. This was my characterization of what she was doing.
Well, what did you do at that point in time to find out, to verify whether she understood what she was doing? What did you do? Besides write this letter?
I sent this letter.
Anything else?
No.
In fact, you didn't meet with her in person. You hadn't met with her at this point once after 4 years of caring for her, had you? You hadn't met her.
Objection. Objection.
Had you?
Not that I recall.
And you didn't meet her in person until, I think, you'd said at or about 2003, right?
Correct.
So at this point in time, given all these really dire things going on, you didn't feel it might be wise for you to meet with her in person and go over things in detail?
Objection.
You did not meet in person with Mrs. Clark unless she wanted you to meet in person with her.
Well, you're charged with overseeing all her legal affairs as well as charged with her financial welfare. Did you feel as an attorney that you could fulfill those obligations without actually sitting down with her and going over what was going on, the facts and circumstances in detail?
Objection.
Could you do that?
Objection.
I believe I could without sitting face to face with her, knowing her personality, knowing how she reacted to meeting with people and discussing problems with them.
She didn't react well to that. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Objection.
To my knowledge, she did not.